Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Court. I'm an illustrator. Sorry, I feel like I haven't talked in like 7 million years. So, this is my first day on Earth. I was born yesterday, but here's a sketchbook that I completed basically all of last year. I started it a little bit in 2024. I ended it a little bit into 2026. So this guy kept me company through 2025. It's a Royal Talent sketchbook. As you can see, one of those little art creation ones. I like these. They are getting like a little more expensive, much like a lot of things. So I feel like when I first got them, it was like, oh, this is like so much cheaper than the other ones. But now they're like not as much. I think I like need to get into making my own sketchbooks again, just because I think it allows me to use them less preciously. There's something about like buying a sketchbook that feels like the art needs to be good in it when that's like not really the point. Anyway, I'll give you a little sticker tour. This is from Leo Fox. Technically, it's from Silver Sprocket. I think I got it when I got Boy Island, which is one of his books. He's great. I don't know who made this. A friend gave it to me. If you know, put it in the comments. Oh yeah, also like, comment, subscribe, all of that. I'd love to get to like 5K by the end of the year, putting a soft goal out there. So it's helpful and free to you. Anyway, 21 Pilot sticker from the CD I got. I voted. I got these. I ordered This Is Why on CD by Paramore. And so these were the stickers on it. And then from that same 21 Pilot sticker, weep. I kind of just stick a bunch of bullshit into my books. This is like old. This is from like 2024 or maybe even 2023. I'm seeing some like stream layouts. So I think that's why I put it in here. I do use my local library. I don't know. I liked the lettering. Oh, and I think I wanted to remember this skinny metal ruler. Okay, and then the actual stuff that's in the book. As you can see, started December 29th, 2024, finished February 7th, 2026. I did go see Sinners and Nosferatu. This was like a note that a coworker that I used to have left in my office. I just thought it was sweet. This is from when I was working at Muse Paint Bar. I was trying to show a kid how to do like a nervous but also excited face. This is from the Whitney. I'm struggling to remember who this artist is, but I'll put it up on the screen. There's more of these scraps in the actual sketchbook. And then more ticket stubs. I don't know, a little post-it note. And then these are little confetti crowd participation things that I got when I went to go see My Chem. I'm guessing these are from both New Jersey and Boston. Anyway, ta-da. When I made this, I was, me doing the math, almost 2 months out from getting top surgery. And so I wanted to do a little self portrait for it. Yeah, I still like how this painting turned out. I don't think I posted it anywhere. I guess yesterday would have been a good day because it was Trans Day of Visibility, but whatever. And then a little bit of Nosferatuing. That's a movie I wanted to do more proper art for, but I was kind of going through it, so I just like it just kind of fell off the plate. I made this maybe 2 weeks after I started my previous job. So it's kind of like when you're playing a post apocalyptic game and you come across like a diary entry from the before times, or like when things are just starting and it's like, oh, honey, you have no idea what's coming. Little Jim Joker-ing. I was at Mocha Fest this previous weekend and I was talking to some people about Balatro, and it affirmed to me that I want to make like a Jim Joker print. I'm thinking maybe kind of like an acrylic painting or something, like kind of like old vintage baseball card style. But these were kind of like prep for that I need to circle back to in January now. This is on like a scrap of paper from my job. A little bit of severancing. This is before season 2 came out. I don't know if this is a safe space for me to discuss my thoughts on season 2, but let's just say it ruined my attachment to watching any TV show ever again. This is like a life drawing I did on the bus. That was my backpack. This is kind of like I guess like in at the start of 2025, I was kind of going through it with like art in general. I was having a crisis. I wasn't sure if like art was even like for me anymore, but like I came back to it. We're so back. And so I can see like the influences for like the In Transit series I've been doing here. More Severancing, little Milchek moment, a little heli, and then I think if we open this up, yeah, I had made a little print of this moment from I think season 1 episode 7, the music dance experience, but that was like the sketch for it. Severance Day. As you can see, it was kind of the only thing keeping me going, and then it severely disappointed me. Irving, smile. I still like him, even though the show doesn't. Sorry, if you like don't watch Severance or really like season 2, this is probably so alienating. I'm speaking my truth. These are kind of some drawings of my character Aster. I don't know. I've been going through like a crisis with these characters too, because like I want to do something with them, but I've decided I'm just like redesigning them a little bit because like I've been drawing them since 2020 or 2021. So, 5 years. I just like they just need a revamp, and I'm not like as attached to their designs anymore. I don't think any of these are really on model per se. I kind of like the shading in that one though. These are like more characters kind of from Lila and Aster's story. I really like this drawing. His name is Kieran. I'm still kind of figuring out how exactly I want the story to take shape, so I don't necessarily know if they'll be in it. This is from a take where like Lila and Aster meet at an artist residency, and so like this is another one of the artists, and he's the big bad. But anyway, some more figure drawing, like life in person drawing speaks for itself. This is a little Godzilla keychain. Hold on, do I have it? I do. Life imitates art or whatever. Little hair on it. Yeah, I got this. I don't know who made this, but I got it from Pinecone and Chickadee in Portland, Maine. If you know, you know. The knowers know. But yeah, this is inspired by Sophie McPike. I like how they do. I don't know. I love their pattern work. I want to incorporate more of that into my work. Re This is based on a Beastie Boys picture, I think. And I think I literally have drawn it twice. I don't know where like the first one is, but I don't know. It's so recoded to me. And then my hands. I like the colors in this spread. Here I was testing out all of the colors of acrylic paint that I had. These are like crappy apple barrel craft paint. They're not like fine grade acrylic paint. But I really like this painting that I did. I think this is a picture that I took. I'm assuming like in the winter holiday time. I'm sure other places do this as well. But in Portland, Maine, they put up a bunch of like holiday lights when it's winter. And so I was trying to like capture that vibe. Little Dale Cooper moment. I was gonna do like a more proper painting, which these scraps of paint are from, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I want to return back to it because I liked the concept. And then these are more drawings from life on the bus. Here I was trying out a color palette. I This was when I was starting to like try to ideate for my short box comic last year. It was before I had decided on doing Saints or Girls stuff. And I thought I wanted to do it traditionally painted, and I wanted to try kind of a Zorn palette, but with a green thrown in, just to kind of see what could come out of it. I still, in my heart of hearts, I still really want to try to do like a traditionally painted comic, even though it makes a slow process already slower. But I think it'd look cool. Some whatever. Twin Peaks quote. Yeah, I was doing bad around here. More bus drawing. Here I got some new, nicer acrylic paint, and so I was just testing out different color combinations here. This is a little heli I did. I'll put a picture in if I can remember, but this I ended up taking this digitally, and it kind of looks like completely different, but in my mind, I know that this was like the starting point for it. I think it kept some of the like freshness, though the color palette ended up more blue in the digital version. You're never gonna believe it. More drawings done on the bus. These are like two different. Actually, no, I think these are the same day, but just two different angles. It's not. They don't really go together per se. More bus drawing. There was like one day where there was this beautiful, complex, like water spot on the bus. And I was like, oh, I'll go back and finish this. I never did. I don't really know who these people are. I think I might have been ideating for like a short story. It was kind of like for what like this color palette would have been for. Um, yeah, just some guys. And then this is my character Tabitha question mark from Graveyard Shift. Yeah, I was kind of like working on that a little bit. These were sketches for a Bruce painting that I did a little swapsy with my friend Isabel, aka Cryptid Club, aka Lost Cryptids. Yeah, we're Bruce heads over here. And then these are more like ideating for the other people at the artist residency. Just some weirdos. And then here's more thumbnails and the paint scraps from that Bruce Campbell painting. I'll put a picture in if I can remember. I didn't like post it publicly anywhere because it was like for a trade that we were doing. These are for a 21 Pilots collaboration that I was doing with some other people on Instagram. I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, we were doing a collab. I was about to say, maybe I just did it on my own, but no, we were doing a collab, old school style. I This isn't what I ended up going with. It's from the same like fairly local music video, but I wanted to kind of capture the ennui of like like I think looking back on it 10 years out, it's so interesting thinking about this moment in their career because like they've accomplished so much already for like the scale that they were at, but there was like this huge unknown of like if they were going to kind of live up to these expectations, and then of course they kind of blew them out of the water and like became so internationally successful. And so just thinking about them like on the set of this music video, like unsure if blurry face or any of these concepts were going to land, now knowing that it ended up being this like 10-year long story. Yeah, I just think it's kind of beautiful. So yeah, sorry sorry if you didn't know I like 21 Pilots. Unfortunately there's more, but yeah, these were notes from my job. These are more life drawings on the bus. I really like these. I think Loki, we'll get to another one. I think this might be the same person that I draw later as well. Bus loves saying imminent departure. And then here's some like Saints for Girls scraps. There's some Reese and a Cassidy. More, you guessed it, life drawing on the bus. And then this was me plotting Ree Carpenter Has a Bad Day. I think this is like basically how it does happen in the comic if you've read it. Here I was taking notes on the 4 stages of alchemy and like the colors for it because I was working on like a short story that kind of connected to it. Even though honestly, I don't really think any of this ended up in that. So I was just kind of taking it for my own sake, I guess. More doodling for Saints for Girls. If you don't know, Vincent and Frankie play D&D together. And then these were kind of like doodles or like kind of practice almost for when Ree gets the crap kicked out of her in the pit. I love drawing silly Ree faces. I was thinking I should make like stickers or a sticker sheet of like a bunch of funny Ree faces. Let me know if you would like that. I think I'd like it. And then this is like the little description for the comic. You can see this was April. I wish I'd started it earlier in hindsight. Like to be so real with you, but it's okay. And then we got some Vincent's, got a Jazz reading on the clock. This was practice for I must have like had already made the thumbnails for the comic because these are like faces for when actually I guess I could show you. Hold on. I have the book now so I can show you. But you can see this became this. I'll have to censor this. Cassidy. Sorry, her boobs are out. Girls can't do anything. Shaking my damn head. This is like ideating for like another. It's kind of inspired by like Thoroughfare by Ethel Kane and The Passenger, the 2023 movie of Kyle Gallner, of course, and also some like vampire demon stuff. I don't know. That one's going on the back burner, I think, because I don't know exactly like what I want to do with it, but I still really like the idea of it. And then this might have been drawn from life. I'm not sure. and some Magdalena Bay lyrics. This might have been around when I saw them actually, so that would perhaps explain it. Again, more really off-model drawings of Aster. Like, I don't know exactly how I want to draw them, but I just know that these aren't right, basically. And then Aster and Lila, the old version. I was moving here, and so I was testing out all of my markers and throwing out the ones that don't work anymore. And same here. And then these are ideations for a mermaid story that I still want to do at some point. But yeah, I don't, again, it's like it's too loose. I need to like do some more like I think the Lila and Aster stuff makes more sense right now because I can do it in kind of small little episodes and compile it versus needing to have like a 300-page graphic novel ready to go. Like I think I just need a little more practice in longer form storytelling. And then I don't know if both these are Mitski, but I think I just saw some stuff on Tumblr. Story of my damn life. I'll take these off for a second so you can see just a little abstract painting moment. I've been really interested in incorporating more pattern in my work, if not actively, at least like subconsciously. And then these I stuck in after, but I done these little doodles when a Shortbox Comic Fair went live. Story of my damn life. We can see we're almost in June now, and we've only done this much sketchbooking. So it maybe speaks to the mindset I was in. But here's around when art started feeling good again. You know, we got there. Random guy smoking, biting your fingernails. I know that's right. This is a thumbnail for a painting that I'm kind of actively working on. I don't know. I feel like I've lost steam with it, but also I do want to finish it, at least like before I move, I guess. But this, it's a self portrait inspired by like werewolf stuff. You know. These, I again, more things that I still want to do. I got obsessed with going down an eBay, Facebook Marketplace rabbit hole for people who are selling ghost face costumes because when you just have like the mask, I think it must have ties or something in it, but the mask by itself looks like a little guy. I have a whole album full of just these images of these ghost face masks. I don't know, they're so funny to me. Like look up ghost face mask on eBay right now and go look and you'll start seeing like they're just little guys. I should definitely like I also don't know exactly like how I want to do it. I honestly think kind of more simple is better, but I should make like a little zine with them cuz like I just need to draw them. They're so fun. Here's more drawings for that werewolf painting that I was talking about. I don't know if I've ever posted it on this channel, but I posted a whip of it on my Instagram. One day I will finish this. We'll circle back to her. And then more ideating for painting. 2025 for the most part, I was having crazy sleep paralysis question mark. I've always been like a sleepwalker slash talker slash mover, so these are kind of ideas for sleepwalking paintings. Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with like Halloween masks and like the kind of rubber latex like I don't know. There's something very compelling about it to me and that kind of idea of like having a threshold between you or slash the wearer and the viewer. Like I think that is fascinating. Low-key inspired by Ezra David Matt's The Draculas. Yeah, this was inspired by me working. It's me as a clown. And then yeah, some more ideas for paintings that I haven't had the chance to. This is inspired by anatomical Venuses. I really there's some story idea that I want to do for like something with anatomical Venuses because I think they're so fascinating. What exactly that is, I still don't know. I've been trying to figure it out for like 2 years and I still don't know. More thumbnailing. Yeah, again, just thinking about that kind of like threshold, like being behind a mask. This is my bathroom. The sleep paralysis I was experiencing, sometimes it felt like, I don't know, like I was getting distorted or like transform tooled in Photoshop, and so I was trying to capture that vertigo-y feeling. These are inspired by The Sims. This one is like an image on Tumblr that I fucking love. Like there's something so beautiful about it. Of course it's from The Sims 3 because it looks ugly. My favorite ugly game. And yeah, another photo I saw on Tumblr, I think. Here's about, I mean, like during this period, I knew I wanted to apply to grad school. I wanted some kind of goal to be working toward. And so this it didn't really turn out this way, but for Boston University's MFA in visual narrative, I don't know if they'll do it every year, but the year that I was applying, aka last year, there was a prompt where like you had to make a 3-page comic that had at least two characters, one animal, a forest and a city, and half the panels had to have dialogue. I don't know. It was kind of crazy, but I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to do for it. And then again, more kind of horror painting ideas. This is inspired by like I don't know, you ever been up really late and like been in a car and all of a sudden it looks like people are running out from the side of the road, or is it just me? Smiley face. This is from a artist talk that I went to for Nora Krug or Krug. I don't remember how she said her name. I'm so sorry, Diva. But she's a great comic artist. Her style is really interesting. I'd recommend you checking her out. She does like nonfiction stuff. And then this is from her husband's artist talk, I think the next day. Yeah, he does a lot of like collecting objects and items and kind of using that. And so I wrote down a lot of little stuff to return back to. I'll probably block out his email address. I don't know. There was one zine that he made where it was all like skeleton stuff. And I still want to ask him if he has like a scan of the whole thing because I was like so enraptured by it. Some random bullshit. I don't know, some paint shit. Actually, here I was trying out, I got a water soluble, like watercolor pencil. And so I was trying out that as the underdrawing to then paint on top of to see like how well or not well it worked. Here are sketches for a painting that I don't think I've posted anywhere, but I called it Server, and this is a photo that I took like at my job. I don't know, just like I just like turned a corner and all of a sudden there was just a guy there like bifurcated, cut in half. I just thought the image was so interesting. I don't really love the painting. I'd like to, percolate on that idea more. This is a sketch that I did for my friend Georgie's birthday present. It's spirit, some spirit shit. And then this is the sketch for the first in transit painting that I did. Actually, I think there's another. Yeah, I think this head angle is kind of more accurate to what I was actually seeing. But here I was really trying to capture the hand. I'm trying to remember if I actually did this on the bus or if it was like with the photo that I took. I kind of can't remember. And then these, at least this one is the reference for one either watched or watching. I kind of don't remember. But one of the two window paintings that I did last year. This is the outside scraps from this. And then if we flip this up, this is the thumbnail for Dear Lord, which is a painting that I made last year on this really weirdly shaped panel. I ended up flipping the angle, so it's like not fully accurate. More painting scraps. This and the next spread are for a commission that I did last year for a local filmmaker named Ricky. I'll put maybe like his website in the description. This is for like a pitch for a film that he hasn't made yet. So like, there's not really anything. I don't want to like say more than like literally what I'm showing you, but like this is the actor and that's like an important object in it. So I was making like the poster for it. Wash U info for their MFA programs. I guess I can soft launch that I'll be attending their illustration visual culture program in the fall. And so this is like part one of the notes I was taking. This is the kind of color study for the Dear Lord painting, and I love this. I'd love to do more stuff that feels like this. This feels so fresh. And then that part of my elbow is pulsating. And then this is a person that I saw on the bus who, like, I was coming home from work and they complimented my outfit. And I don't know, like, it was the perfect contrast of being, like, so, I don't know, like, young and maybe, like, I don't want to say naive. That feels like too loaded of a word, but just like sincere. And then also, like, They did have like a studded belt, so like clearly they were kind of like into alternative stuff. I don't even think my outfit that was that cool. I think I just like was wearing like a black polo shirt and a studded belt. But it was very sweet to me. And then here's where I started conceptualizing the utility pole paintings that I did last year. I initially wanted to like paint them just to cut them up, but I ended up only doing that digitally. And then here are drawings for the little Gerard freebie that I made to pass out in Boston. If we flip it over, there's also the clown. More thumbnails for possible paintings. I still want to make these too, but yeah, like an eyelash in the eye and then like washing my face. This is kind of Ray Toro, if you believe in your heart. And then like a dentist chair painting. And then questionable drawing underneath there. But these are the 21 Pilots freebies that I made when I saw them in Bangor. And these are the thumbnail sketches for that. I ended up turning these ones into like a sticker of the two of them together. And then this was post 21 Pilots concert. Thinking very deeply about Secretary Gerard as always. Clues from Blueprints, the game. And then, we don't need to talk about this page, but you can look at it, I guess. If you know who these people are, then you know. These are thumbnails for that Clancy and Torchbearer painting that I did. Clearly very normal about 21 Pilots in this moment of you caught me at a very 21 Pilots moment of my life. These are lyrics from their song Doubt. Trying to get the gold to reflect. The silver is way more reflective, like in general. More 21 Pilotsing. I really like how these turned out though. I think maybe the leftover gouache on this page I use as a base and then it's paint marker on top. But yeah, I want to do more kind of like really expressive stuff like this. This is kind of a nothing burger spread, but we have some guy I saw at the grocery store who I liked their vibe. I feel like I was thinking about the lead character from the Graveyard Shift and like what I want them to look like. And then this was me tracking like the progress for my calendar that I did last year. I did finish the calendar even though it doesn't look like I did based on the checklist, but trust me, I did make it more kind of random 21 Pilots doodling, at least on this side. This side's just kind of random, having fun and playing. This is a self portrait I did on the bus that I really liked the look of, and I put it on the back of my business card. I liked it that much. And then some more me. Here, I was pulling out some Zig markers, and then this is some Posca markers that I got, and then tested it on black. Here, I was trying to revitalize my fountain pen. And then I wanted to do like a signals something, but it just never came to fruition. I just, life gets in the way, truly. I like putting a million things on my plate and then getting mad at myself when I can't do the million things when it's like, dude, you put the things on your plate. And then more life drawing. I really like, I want to do a painting of this person because, like, I don't know, their hat and like just the everything was so perfect. And then classic American posting, more notes from a Wash U info session that I went to. If it's helpful to you, feel free to pause. Then this classic, the sketch for In Transit 3, and then another actually, I guess I did start this painting. Me when I forget about the whole fucking collaboration that I did. But I wanna finish the actual painting for this one. Maybe I could put that on the docket. I was trying out the brown zig and the red zig together. I didn't love the combination of those colors. And then 2 ticket stubs for Ezra Furman and Don Broco. And then here, that's a drawing from life. Love their vibe. This is ideating for a sleepwalking painting that I don't know if I'll circle back to, but I do like how it turned out. And then idea for a Northern Lights sticker sheet. I don't know if I actually will do that, but I feel like I should make a Northern Lights something at some point. More in transit stuff. Here I got some new Zig dual-ended. I could show you one, but basically it's like the same color ink on both sides, but like one side is lighter than the other. So it's really fun for sketching. They're a little temperamental. You kind of have to, I'm keeping them at like a diagonal where the lighter side is up because if you actually keep them horizontal, they end up being really similar color wise. But if you keep them at an angle, they do the thing they're supposed to. And then this is from a portfolio review that I had. I was just like writing stuff down. A little Bandito Josh torchbearer moment. And then just some bullshit. I don't know. These were character designs that I had for kind of that thoroughfare passenger type story. Again, I don't exactly know like what shape I want that to take, so I can't like speak about it more in detail. I also think I'm making them lesbians. I don't think they're guys anymore. But these are Vincent and Ree, though I didn't finish like the rest of the drawing. Random image of Faye Webster that I saw on Tumblr. Again, more bullshit. I don't even know what this is. Oh, I know what this is. This is the like script for that BU comic I had to make for my application. And then more drawings of Winslow asterisk because I think once again I'm making him a woman. But and then these were notes I took for myself when I was doing a panel at Mice. It was a robot themed panel, so I was trying to like remember like why I like drawing and talking about that sort of stuff. And then these are notes slash doodles I was taking during, I believe on Sunday morning there was like a exhibitor exclusive panel, and so that's where both of these are from. And then a quote from Scott McCloud's panel question mark. I don't think it was a panel necessarily. Oh gosh, sorry, kicked you. But like the thing that he did on Sunday night. And then this was me doodling on the bus back. As you can see, me trying to figure out Lila and Aster. I do think the redesign is imminent because they're too Devil's Minion coded, even though I was drawing them before the show came out. But it's okay. And then this is a inspired by a photo of Jeff Rickley from Thursday that I did digitally. This is inspired by a photo of Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. So Marty's my favorite loser asshole that nobody likes. I didn't finish this because like I just wasn't feeling it, but I love like the vibe of this is sick, and I want to take it elsewhere. Even though this exact drawing I didn't like, and then I ended up doing my Marty Supreme thing digitally. And then this is from like, I don't know, like a random image that I saw. I unironically really like this one. I feel like this one didn't capture the vibe. And then quote from the most iconic Timothy Chalamet inspired tweet. This is a doodle for my little hero image on my website. Frankie Shelf mentioned. Cold and Rizless. I don't know. Oh, if I had to guess, I think this might be the doodle for like the Saints for Girls, Volume 1, like the very first idea for it. And then some random guys. I once again, too much time and not enough, or no, not enough time and too many ideas for all the things I want to make. But there's like some podcast straight dude RPF, not actually RPF, but like the vibes. Like there's a story idea that I want to do, but again, I think I'd rather literally prioritize women's stories. So I don't know if it'll come to pass. And then yeah, kind of just trying out like different body types for that. This is based on a photo of Connor's story. I do really like his hair. So cute. This is a sketch for maybe a painting at some point that I'd like to do, but I feel like all two pairs of scissors that I have completely compromised themselves. They just like broke on the handles, and so I don't know. I feel like this pair of scissors had been like in my family, and then I took it for like maybe like at least like 10 years or something. So yeah, feeling sentimental towards some BS. And then this is a sketch for an in-transit painting that I did that you can watch the process of. I think it's in the social media advice video. And then this is another in transit one. I did in fact see this person. Again, doodling for that podcast idea, trying to develop their body types. My phone freaking died on me. So sorry if this sounds completely different, but trying to develop the body type for those podcast guys. And then this was filmed in a different video. I think it's just called like Finish My Sketchbook with Me. I was talking about books. I remember that. But if we flip back, hold on, hold. I think this person is this person that I saw on a different day. Unintentional. I only realized like after I did this one, I was kind of flipping through the book. But yeah, these are just with acrylic paint marker, studies for hopefully future paintings. I've been in more of a comic mood recently. I haven't been painting as much, but maybe I shall return to painting soon enough. And then, yeah, kind of a self explanatory ending spread. At this point, I was kind of just over it. These I'd stuck in earlier. And then my random assortment of goodies. I think I got this from the 21 Pilots concert. And then more 21 Pilots stuff. I ate a lot of apples in 2025. I was kind of doing a impromptu New Year's resolution where I was trying different varieties of apples. I have determined that Cosmic Crisp are my favorite slash the best. And then this is like a mix of things. Obviously, not all of this I'm going to show. I'll show these. These were not drawn in 2025, but these were little things that I had drawn in 2024, and these are concept art for the robot in maintenance. So I think I just didn't want to like lose them. But yeah, that's it for the sketchbook. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to kind of pour over these more and have the PDF of the sketchbook, I'll go ahead and leave that in the description. You can get it on itch.io. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope to post more sketchbook stuff in the future. Bye.